Hey guys, today B2 and I got an awesome lesson for you on how to turn your short slice into a weapon with Kevin Garlington. This is something that I talk about a lot too. And Kevin also mentions, use this against the pusher. And I really agree with it, but it's really cool because he talks about how you can use this as a weapon, how you can add variety to your slice, and then some great drills you can do. And if you like this video, you're gonna love TennisCon Live this year because Kevin Garlington is gonna be one of our awesome coaches there, right, B2? Are you gonna be coaching there at TennisCon Live? Anyway, so watch today's video. If you like it and you wanna train with Kevin Garlington in person and you wanna train with Carousel in person, former top 400 player in the world, hitting partner to Naomi Osaka. You want to train with Ryan from 2 Minute Tennis. You want to train with 17-time Grand Slam champion Gigi Fernandez. And there's more coaches too, but I want to get you to the video. So after you watch today's video, if you like it and you are interested, I'll be there training with you as well. If you are interested in training with us at TennisCon Live, make sure you go to the website, look at everything, and if it sounds good to you, apply. All right. Watch today's video with Kevin, then also go over to his page, his YouTube channel, and subscribe. He's almost at 100,000 subscribers. Let's help him get there. All right, we'll see you guys on the next video.
A slice by itself is a great shot to disrupt your opponent. Most opponents hate the feeling of receiving a slice because it changes the timing and the pace that they're normally used to. But how we can take our slice to the next level is doing this shot, which is the short slice. Most players aren't thinking about using the short slice. In this video, I want to show you how to use the short slice and how to amplify your normal slice to make it that much better. So let's get started. Now let's talk about the short slice. Why do so many players hate the short slice? Why is it a shot that even Roger Federer, when playing, uses a ton? Because most players don't want to do what? They don't want to come in the net. And when they come in the net, what do they prefer? They prefer to be in control instead of out of control. And by hitting the short slice, by being a slice, it stays low. It does a couple things that drive your opponent crazy. Number one, did I say it brings them the net? Again, how many players don't like coming in the net? A ton, because they don't feel comfortable volleying. Number two, it makes them have to really control the racket and the racket face. If not, their ball tends to pop up or even go long, hence giving you a sitter. And this is so awesome that you can constantly worry your opponent because they're like, oh shoot, if I get that short ball, I don't know what to do. If not even that, think about playing a pusher. Man, if you play a pusher, they probably don't like coming in net. So by hitting the short slice, guess what they're gonna probably do? They're gonna probably dink it and run back to the baseline. But if you really hit it correctly, you're gonna force them to come in to feel uncomfortable, exactly where they don't wanna be. So just keep that in mind if you love making the pusher go crazy. And then one more thing, when you're driving your opponent crazy because you're hitting the short slice and they start getting used to it, and maybe even they start picking up on it early, you know what you do? You go back to hitting that deep slice. And this completely frazzles them, fries their brain because they don't know what to expect. And this is the mindset you wanna put into your opponent. I don't know what's gonna come next, so I have to be on guard. And by doing this, what they're gonna do is start playing closer to baseline because they're expecting the short slice, but then you hit the deep slice and man, you mess up their timing. Oh shoot, I need to go back and play deeper behind the baseline. Then you hit the short slice and then you bring them in and they don't have time and then they just sit it up and you go ahead and win the point. So this is why this is so important. So now let's get down to some drills to start perfecting your short slice. So the very first thing I want you to understand is how do we hit a basic slice in the first place? So make sure you go watch this video. I'll put it somewhere about how to hit a slice, but I'm gonna go over it here really quickly. If we think about hitting a slice, all we're trying to do is make sure we add backspin to the shot. So what that means is we're gonna come slightly down. The biggest mistake most players are making with the slice is they're hacking down on the ball. Because if I hack straight down on the ball, A, it's really hard to time, hence getting a lot of mishits. B, all you're doing is adding tons of spin but no penetration. So the ball's not gonna go anywhere, and a lot of times to compensate for this, so if this is you, they hack down and they open up because they feel it. They're like, the ball's just gonna not go anywhere, so they're gonna open up and it creates this ball that kind of just sits there, and we don't want that. What we wanna do is keep a consistent racket face and come slightly down and have some penetration to the ball. Now this is just a normal slice, what I'm talking about right now. And with a normal slice, if I set this up, if I get the ball, all I need to do is pull, boom. And you can see that through contact, I'm keeping my racket face pretty much consistent. I'm not carving the ball, which gives you that shot. I want to be more consistent with the shot. So that's a slice. So the very first thing we want to work on is understanding the racket face, because it plays such a huge function for the slice. Because if we don't understand the racket face, we may be hitting our slice too high, and hence it's not going to be short. So what I mean by racket face is, what angle is the racket face at contact? See, the racket face is going to have a huge determinant of where the ball is going to go. If your racket face is really open when you make contact, hence the face looking up, the ball's going to go higher. Where it's very closed, the ball's going to go lower. And so the drill here, I'm using a ball machine, and I'm just going to start with my racket face open and let the ball hit your strings. Just find the ball and let it hit the strings. What I want you to notice is where the ball bounces off of your strings. So if we just do this, and I'm going to have it really open, look at the bounce. Boom, it goes straight up. Now, if I'm going to close it a little bit, look at the bounce. Boom, goes forward more. If I close it even more, look at the bounce. Oh, well, that's not a bounce, that's a mishit. So you got to find it a little bit better than that. Boom. So you can see now how the racket face is going to dictate where the ball's going to go. And so you're probably thinking, why is this so important? Because to hit the short slice, we have to make sure we don't open the racket face too much, because it creates too much height on the ball. So if you're struggling with, my ball's going too high when I'm hitting the slice, this is what we want to do. So what I want you to practice is two different extremes, making sure we start with the racket face open and then we're going to go to close. Now, what I don't recommend when you're doing this is having the racket face completely almost vertical in the beginning. Okay? What I'm doing to change the racket face is I'm pretty much rotating my forearm. So not so much my wrist, but my forearm, this bigger muscle right here, to get the racket face. So what I challenge you to do here is we're going to do one open and then three where I'm pretty close, not completely close vertical, but pretty close. So ball comes, I'm going to be pretty open, boom, that goes high, and now forearm, and then boom. That's about where we want it right now. We might still have to make some adjustments, but this is exactly how we want to just start training the racket face to be at contact. And it gives you feedback about where the racket face is. Now let's move on to drill number 3. We have the racket face, which dictates where the ball's going to go. Now we need to talk about adding some more power, okay, through our swing. Now the key is we want to now align adding more penetration, more force to the ball using our swing, and having the racket face setting up to send the ball in the path or the height we want. Now with the swing, there's also an added element. By coming down on the ball slightly, we create underspin. Just by coming up, we create topspin. And so we want to come down on the ball and pull through. So to do this, what I want you to focus on is really pulling from this back shoulder muscle. I always like the analogy, if you've ever been in a gym and you see the guys or the ladies doing the cable crossovers, we're feeling this back muscle versus an elbow kind of muscle. We want to use our back muscle to initiate the first or the end part of the swing. Now this isn't the entire swing. So if you're like, Kevin, you want me to use my arm? Yes, I do. What the entire swing would consist of is using a little bit more of my body, my hips, and then pulling with my arm. But it's totally okay right now just to practice this to make sure that we're just using our arm. Because if we use too much of our body, guess what? We're gonna start adding too much pace to the ball. Hence, we're not gonna be able to hit it short. And so what I wanna do right now is just have you practice where the butt of the racket is facing away from the court to the side post over here. So I'm facing this post with my butt of the racket and practice pulling with your back muscle through the ball. Now notice as I'm pulling, how's my racket face? It's pretty open. So what do you think the ball's gonna do? It's gonna go open. But right now, just focus on pulling, and when you pull, I want you to pull slightly through the ball. So now I'm gonna do this huge thing, but I just want you to pull slightly through the ball. So I'm gonna do probably about 1 or 2 feet past contact. And so if I just focus on pulling now, boom, perfect. So you have my swing where it's slightly higher than the ball and I'm coming down. But the problem with this is what? The ball's going too high. But don't worry about that right now. Make sure you have the swing. Some big mistakes players make when they're trying to do their swing is they use small muscles. They start hacking down. Notice how my swing path was right around here. I'm not hacking down because I want a decent amount of penetration, not a ton. So the second part of the swing is how much force you put on it. On these, we're just practicing the swing, and now I want to go back and start leveling down my amount of force I'm going to put on the ball. So I'm going to start off, let's say, out of a 0 to 10, I'm going to start off at 8. So it means pretty firm. Then I'm going to go to 6. Then I'm going to go to 4. And then I'm gonna probably go to a 2, you'll see it. And probably right around 4 or 2, we're either gonna be on this side of the court versus that side of the court. So let's go 8, okay. And I'm gonna go 6, okay. Ooh, that's nice. I'm gonna go 4, Okay, ooh, barely made it over. Let's go 2. So you can see the different levels. Let's do another 2. Oh, that's probably a little bit more than 2, so that's 3. But you can see the different amount of force I'm putting through. The more force I put through, the deeper it goes. And now you're seeing how it starts to blend together. So now let's go to the last drill. We're gonna put it all together now. Now it's just a combination of what do you want? Meaning that how high do we want the ball to go? AKA not that high, probably 2 or 3 feet over the net. And then B, how much force do we want to put on it? AKA being how deep we're gonna hit the ball. When we find these two combinations and put it together, it's really important. So now when the ball comes, if I put the right amount of force, like there, I'm putting probably about a 6 to a 4, and the ball's going nice and short. And the key about this, ooh, racket face, open that a little bit. All those balls are nice and short, and with the underspin, it stays low, making your opponent have to hit up. Which means if they don't have the hands, if they don't want to come to net, that is an absolute nightmare that we want to put on our opponent. Now, one more bonus tip, because it wouldn't make sense to talk about the short slice if we don't talk about when we should hit it. Now, here's the times when we shouldn't hit the short slice: when we're in trouble. When we're in trouble, meaning that we're moving or off balance, it's going to be harder to control the racket face. Hence why players miss more balls when they're running or a ball's hit very deep, because they're having trouble controlling the racket face. So this isn't a good time. I recommend you hit a short slice when you're in a neutral type situation. Or another way of setting it up is actually slicing it. So you can bend the will of the point to hit the short slice. Let me explain. So what I can do is, hey, they hit me a high ball, boom, I hit a deep slice. Okay, and then I can neutralize what they're doing by hitting a deep slice. And then after that, when I get my final ball that I want, I can then slow it down and hit a short slice. Not only that, it adds a bit of disguise to your play. So if you're a two-handed player and you're like, hey, Kevin, they're gonna notice something's different. Well, yes, they would, but here's the thing. I wouldn't worry about disguise too early, because if they hate coming in at, who cares? If they know they have to come in, that's even worse. If they see you sitting here and going, oh shoot, he's gonna bring me in, or she's gonna bring me in, oh God, it's just panic. So don't worry about the disguise too much. But if you are, you could disguise it by hitting a couple deep slices and then hitting one short. And that's the best way to do this. Now make sure you're choosing moments where you're balanced, which makes it easier to control the racket face.
All right, so I hope you love that video. Remember, if you want to train with Kevin, you want to train with me, you want to train with Gigi Fernandez, you want to train with Jorge Capistani, Jeff Greenwald, John Craig, Maribon Aranched, it is all happening at TennisCon Live. So make sure that you go over to the webpage, go in the card section, either here or here. You'll see it pop up, go in the description box. Also, I'll put in the comment section, click on that link, and look at all the amazing things we're going to be doing at TennisCon Live. And if it sounds good to you, apply. I'll be on the phone real quick with you within 48 hours to talk to you about it. And I look forward to helping you get your game to the next level in 2023. It's going to be a lot of fun.